Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Sri Chalapa. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Engagedly, and I'm joined here with Amy Jenkins of the Employee app. A quick announcement about the purpose of this webinar. Last week, we announced the acquisition of the Employee app, which is an employee communications platform. So I'm super excited about it, super excited to invite Amy and the rest of the team to join our Engagedly team. So we wanted to actually go through what that means for you, also give you an overview of what Engagedly is for those of you who are coming in from the Employee app side, and then Amy will also give an overview of the Employee app for those coming in from the Engagedly side, and then also talk a little bit about the vision for our solution going forward as well. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly share my screen and we can get started. All right. So the presenters today are me and Amy. And our goal today is really to talk about how we are connecting talent management and employee communications in one platform in our near future. As I mentioned, I am the CEO co-founder. Amy, do you want to quickly give your introduction as well?
Yeah, of course. Hello to everyone. I saw some familiar faces from the Employee app. Thanks for joining us today. I have been with the Employee app for 4.5 years. And before that was actually a client of ours where I led internal communications at Chipotle for about a decade. And so have been very familiar with the employee communication space for a long time, very passionate about connecting frontline and deskless workers to communication throughout their organizations. And we're really excited about what the future holds between Engagedly and the Employee app.
Excellent. So let's talk about our mission, right? We believe organizations succeed when there's alignment between the organization's strategy and employee aspirations. So our goal at Engagedly is to provide solutions that really fosters a fun and motivating environment, enables development and growth for everyone in the organization, and provides transparency and alignment for the people with their organizational objectives, and ultimately providing a culture of accountability so that we all work together well. So with that respect, our platform at Engagedly was focused on three major areas. The engagement portion, which was really focusing around building a strong engagement culture within our organization for social collaboration, being able to run engagement surveys, pulse surveys, providing recognition and reward tools, and then really driving values through gamification. The second aspect of the platform is around enabling people to be successful through learning and development. So we have an LMS, which we are releasing a new version at the end of this month, which will be the learning experience management. There's feedback tools so that people can get better at their role, be able to ask for feedback, get 360 feedback from everyone in the organization or the peer group that you want to get organization feedback from. And then be able to really drive career and growth through our growth module, which provides individual development plans, learning paths, and experiences, and then really drive your skills development through the future. The last, but the most important one in our platform is really driving your strategy execution. So that's all your performance assessments, performance reviews, being able to set up OKRs, goal alignment, being able to have a hierarchy of these goals, and then really getting the insights on your talent through talent analytics, and then being able to identifying your future leaders and your areas of development for your people. So with that, our overall platform at a broad level is focusing around, the employee performance, as we talked about, so we can get a lot of good data on the front end, being able to see everybody's goals, being able to run 9-box and calibration and drive your succession plan based on that. And ultimately be able to, observe your goals and be able to look at your goals at a broad level. The learning and development modules focus really around your development plans for your people so they can build development plans, provide their growth aspirations, drive their career growth within the platform itself, and then really identify the skills they need to develop on. And then really use the learning management platform to build their learning paths and learning plans so that they can really build on that growth plan that they put together. And then the engagement part, as I mentioned, is really focusing around the rewards and recognition tools, being able to set and give badges and points, being able to even build your own custom stores, and then be able to run engagement surveys and look at how the engagement is across your organization and see where you need to focus on to drive that engagement. And then it really, the biggest portion of all these tools is to be able to have powerful tools like being able to build career journeys and employee journeys through our workflow tool and automation, being able to use the AI, which we launched earlier this year called Marissa AI, to have conversational intelligence within the organization, having generative AI to build and give feedback, being able to add your employee resources, your HR handbook, and be able to query that and ask questions and actually have a conversation within that so that you can provide and extend your HR capabilities using your AI tools out there. And the most important thing is be able to provide a high level overview of your organization's talent pool so that you can really get the level insights as a leader. So that's the capabilities of Engagely for the people who are not fully familiar with our product. I'm going to turn it over to Amy to talk about the capabilities of the employee app.
Yeah, I get excited every time we see that suite of products, because I think that we go through the employee app here quickly, for those that aren't familiar, there's so much compatibility. There's so much opportunity for these two platforms to really grow together. But the goal of the employee app has always been to activate, engage, and connect that frontline workforce. The deskless workforce is often the last to get communication within organizations because they don't have access to email. They don't have access to a lot of those traditional communications channels. And so the employee app helps to bridge that gap. Through our mobile app, we have an intranet offering. And then we also have just released SMS text messaging, which is a really exciting addition to our suite of products. If you're going to switch to the next one, Sri. So how do we connect? We connect employees not only to information coming from the corporate office, so helping to alleviate the things that get lost in the translation from the cascade of communications from the C-suite down to the frontline managers and then to the teams, but also we connect them to tools and resources that they need. So beyond just being a communications channel, we are also a hub of all of those resources for employees. So they have one place to go to get all the information they need to both do their jobs and live their lives, right? So think about access to their benefits portal, access to their paycheck stubs, getting to their scheduling tools, and also receiving alerts and notifications when there's a change to any of those so that they can take action immediately and continue to feel connected across the organization. We engage employees by highlighting company culture through utilizing our technology in the news feed within the mobile app or on the intranet. You can connect employees to all of the stories happening across the organization, to leadership, sharing the values, the mission, giving them updates on what's happening across the organization to ensure that employees always feel in the know and feel that transparency and that connectedness. It also invites employees to join in on that conversation. We have a whole social function within the app where you can like and comment and @mention using hashtags to really create a holistic experience where employees not only receive what they need, but they can also share back. We even have the functionality where you can turn on permissions for employees to post content themselves and really make them a part of the experience. And finally, that activation piece, which Shrees was talking about, being so excited about what Engagely can do there as well. We want to help you show the value that communication, improved transparency, connectedness across the organization brings to achieving organizational goals and KPIs. So ultimately, where we want you to get using these systems is being able to say, we're helping improve employee retention. We're helping improve safety across our organizations because people have access to all of these tools and resources to allow them to better perform in those functions. You see here just a few names of clients that we've been happy to serve for a number of years. We love working with fantastic clients across a variety of industries and sizes. Communication challenges happen everywhere, and so we've been happy to be a partner in helping to solve those.
Thank you, Amy. So what are we looking ahead? We've obviously spent a lot of time thinking about, what are some of the biggest challenges that organizations face? Is really solutions for a diverse workforce. In our conversations, when we have about remote work, about hybrid work, about skill development and growth and talent management, we commonly feel and here the deskless workers missing from those conversations, right? During the pandemic, they were the critical workforce, as they were called. They were the backbone of our economy, the backbone of our society. And then what we want to do is to really combine the power of Engagely with the employee app so that we can really provide solutions for everyone and enable the entire organization, both the desk and the deskless workers. So what does that mean? So providing a unifying communications to a dispersed workforce. So people who are in the office, people who are in the restaurants, people who are on the factory floor, people are in the different hospital systems on working where they don't necessarily have a computer and they're sitting in front of a computer. Bringing performance and development to all and not just a smaller subset of your organization. Improving the effectiveness of new employee onboarding. And some of the bigger challenges that you see in deskless workspace is the turnover. Now, how do you improve the onboarding for the people you're bringing on in your organization as quickly as possible so that the productivity is as early as possible within their joining date? And then really understanding how do the employees feel? Where is their sentiment as? Are they getting the right level of recognition and attention and development? So you can get this employee pulse and sentiment and then see that over a period of time. Then the other sets are really focusing on recognizing those people. The person sitting and working at a restaurant somewhere away from the head office doesn't always get the recognition they need. And that information doesn't always go back to the headquarters where they can identify the future leader, because that person could be the next district manager. And you don't necessarily know that because you're not getting that information, and that person might eventually leave and might lose a very skilled individual in that process. And then really trying to extend the power of your HR function by using AI. So one of the advantages of AI is that it can read your handbooks, you can read your policy manuals, it can read your vacation and other types of data that you might have, that an employee can just have a conversation with the chatbot that it can answer questions based on your manuals. It can answer questions on things like how many vacations days do I have left, for example, or what is the policy around maternity or paternity leave, for example, and things of this nature, which will relieve you from having a very tactical time spent in your work, so that as an HR, you can be more strategic in your role by letting AI do some of these block and tackle work. And then having intranet on mobile and desktop, this is already a big power that the employee has. We've had some of that in our platform as well, but we really can combine the two to provide one common unified intranet that provides a level of communication that we need for this diverse workforce. And this is one of the most exciting things that employee have launched is a two-way SMS communications. Not everyone has an email. Not everyone necessarily wants to open an app all the time. Allowing an SMS communication so that you can provide that critical communication. Let's say there's a shutdown due to some disaster, or if there's a change in policy, or if there's a simple communication you want to send out as an urgent message, so that you don't get those missed. And those have very, very high ROI, and they don't necessarily normally get missed in the noise of your emails and noise of your hundreds of apps that you may have on your phone. So I'm truly excited about this combination. It really offers a very unique and a differentiated value for organizations that I believe will offer a lot of value for their workforce. Being able to hire the best people, train them, engage them, develop them, grow them, and ultimately retain your best people so that you can build the leaders for the future for your organization. Amy, do you want to add anything else to this?
I'm sure that some of the employee app customers that are on the call today notice survey functionality and some of the things that you've been excited about for a while. There'll be a lot more information to come to both groups of customers about how you'll benefit from this partnership and this acquisition moving forward. And today was really just about opening the door to let you know what we're thinking about, where we see things headed, giving you the opportunity to reach back out to us and ask questions. And, if you'd like to see a demonstration of either product, we're happy to go into those details with you sooner than later. But we'll definitely be doing some follow-up as we head into the new year, giving some more timelines and things like that. But I think you can tell we're excited about this. I hope that everyone on the call is excited about it too. There's big opportunities coming, and I think we're going to be in a position to really support you in enhancing and improving the employee experience in all of your organizations. So good things to come.
Well, thank you, Amy. It's truly an exciting time being able to feel like we can make a difference here. You can learn obviously a lot more about each of those products on engagely.com or the employeeapp.com. As and when we make progress on some of these vision statements that we made, we will be updating you. We are looking at potentially making some other changes as soon as the holidays are over. With all the holidays, obviously, things get tight. In the next quarter or two, there should be a lot more integrations coming. So everyone in the call, whether you're an employee app customer or an Engagely customer, should see additional value from the product. So there's a question from Christine. We are currently using Bonusly for staff recognition. Will Engagely be able to replace that? The answer is mostly yes. Definitely, we'll reach out to you to understand exactly how you're using it. But there's a lot of overlap between what Bonusly does and what Engagely does to be able to replace it. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, we'll conclude the call. I appreciate everyone for joining this call. We'll send the recording over for those who could not attend. Again, thank you, Amy, for joining me on this call, and looking forward to working together as one team and being able to provide the value to a fully diverse workforce.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.